And this conference is called the Global Business Conference. And we have a journal, and the journal is called Journal of Global Business, and yours truly is the editor in chief.
Right. So that's the profile of the people who are hosting for this afternoon. So it's great to see everyone today, and as I mentioned previously in the chat box, if we can reformat to our ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Right, so that's over to you.
So in this photo, you can see we learn as much as we can, or we learn as much as we can. This concept is an avenue.
Be open-minded, and this is a safe space for everyone to share their ideas and thoughts, to critique each other's work.
Yeah, so and we start in to introduce ourselves like we did when
So amazing and heartwarming to really see participants as well as speakers, presenters from other countries for global expansion. All of us know or aware that the world is big, and when it comes to business, so again, thank you very much, and we are so glad that you have come to join us in this 18th Global
Bench.
Yeah.
let's move forward maybe.
Oh, before I forget, Sir Benj, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our participants from Bangladesh and also our honorary chair, Dr. Yusuf. Wow.
If it's very hot up there, it's like physical that so it's a good
already 1:20 a.m. here, but I'm privileged to be your speaker for today. So I'll be sharing my slides. I hope you can see my slides clearly. So good morning once again. I don't know what's the time now in Bangladesh. Is it also good morning in Bangladesh? Good morning, everyone. So again, I'm very much privileged to discuss about hot topics in big data research. As mentioned by Nell earlier, I had sorry, it's about Philippines. So how many Filipinos are active in internet users as of this year? So you can type in your answers. Yeah, the winner. But when you go here, for example, in Canada, in North America, Facebook is not heavily used, or they're using a lot on Instagram. Twitter, not so much, but video on Instagram. I don't know with Bangladesh, things, relationship, things like that. Consumer reviews. So I just included one case. I have put it in time, but this one is we put in the different data together. It's like the shape. Now we can see if you're using data pool or you're using grab food, you can know exactly where.
So let's take a picture. Yeah.
Yes, Dr. Ray, with you. You just do your best, do your thing.
GBC as a reactor for the person. Thank you, Paul.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Vicente Montano.
Research interest and commitment to addressing contemporary issues in business education. He has actively participated and presented at various national and international conferences.
About I was expecting that you'll be able to present the research skills that are
Management Studies at Jahangir University. We also have Saiful Islam, which when he was a university student, he had to pass a slum on the way to his university. Okay, he completed an MBA in Management Studies with honors from Haganat University, Dhaka. At present, he is an assistant professor in management at the Government College of Bangladesh and numerous students from slums, and as a result, he knows the actual scenario of these people. We also have Romana Rashid Rumi, is a graduate from the Department of Public Administration, University of Dhaka, Bangladesh. Ms. Romana has acquired 2 years of research project named Mujipedia, experience by working on Encyclopedia on Father of Nation, Bagabandu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman projects in Bangladesh. Her work as area Her work area mainly encompasses around Bangladesh public policy, corporate policy, especially HR and law enforcement in Bangladesh, water security and poverty interlinkages in urban slums and in climate finance. And lastly, we have Sharna Akhtar, an assistant manager at the leading Korean multinational company is specializing in garments accessories industries with over 6 years of experience. She has developed a strong expertise in business development. She holds a postgraduate degree and is passionate about driving innovation and efficiency in the industry. She is excited to connect with fellow professionals at this conference. So may I present to you the group with their paper entitled Empowering Women Through Entrepreneurship, Case Study of Slum-Based Enterprises in Dhaka. So you may now start your presentation. Start.
Very good afternoon, the facilitator and the presenter who are presenting here today. So today we are going to talk about empowering women through entrepreneurship case study of slum-based enterprise in Bangladesh, in Dhaka. So we have the presenter's name here. So this is the outline we are going to follow. So we'll follow the introduction and literature review, and after that, sequentially we will go to the framework, methodology, discussion, conclusion, and the limitation part. So here, the first thing is like that all types of economic development and social progress needs entrepreneurship. The key factor that can drive into economic growth, we can lead it to like job creations and gender inequality. In developing countries like Bangladesh, women who are living in slums are into entrepreneurial activities to survive and empower themselves. They're trying to do something with their families, they're trying to help their families and empower themselves so that they can they can feel like they are empowered and they are financially sustainable. On these things, for a very long time, they have been facing social, economic, and cultural barriers, and as well as they have been going through the extreme poverty, house problem, population of poor sanitation, and limited access to essential services as well. Why we are doing this thing? when we go through the slum area, we find out some issues like they have been facing some unique challenges to access the financial, and they don't have the educational qualifications that much, and they are not aligned with the business community so that they can get engaged to the business very easily. On the other hand, on social, cultural, and economic barriers, they are preventing them from achieving significant economic independence and empowerment. So that this research is to understand the factor that can influence entrepreneurial success and empowerment. The reason we did this study is to understand the socio-economic factors influence the empowerment of women entrepreneurs in slums. Based on that, we have find the experience, motivations, and barriers faced by women entrepreneurs. We have also find the relationship between the educational qualifications, types of business, entrepreneurship motivation, monthly income, and investment capital, and other things. We cluster entrepreneurs based on socio-economical variables. There, we find some interesting fact. Like whoever are doing or working with women's and the women who are engaged with entrepreneurship, they have some significant outcomes and significant contribution, or they get some contributions from the government and some help from the government. But countries like developing countries like us, they have been facing some issues like limited access to finance. They are not well educated. That's also a barrier for them. They are not connecting with any social network who help them to do the business. So this is the thing that makes some barrier for the developing countries entrepreneurs who are from the slum. But women are role model in these communities, like who are doing this business, who are on entrepreneurial activities. They are the role model. So they can do something for themselves as well as they can create some employment opportunities for the community as well. So because of that reason, on the context of Dhaka slum, we find out there are several women, they are into this business and they have been doing good and extremely good. If you have a close look with the framework, you can find out like we segmented, we not only focused on the impact, we also focused on the influence section as well. So how this influence become an impact on those sections. So based on to do this research, we conducted or we separated five segments for them. They are socio-demographic variables, support mechanism, entrepreneurial variables, economic variables, and outcome variables. So we found that the financial facts are in the support mechanism, and the socio-demographic variables are like age, educational qualifications, their children are going to school or not, and their number of family members. And the employee variables, it's like the types of business they have been doing, why they choose the business, what types of problems they have been facing. So here you can see impact on the income, and thus income make the empowerment section, like the outcome variables. So we can see a positive impact. They are earning money, and that's make them empowered on these things. They are earning money, and that's make them financially sustainable and financially okay with the environment. Around the methodology, we surveyed 47 entrepreneurs from the Coral and Mohali Saktola slums, which is situated in Dhaka, and Dhaka is the capital of Bangladesh. So this is situated inside Dhaka. It is on, you can see like a full part of Dhaka city. There was a structural interview, and we visited them personally and we talked to them one to one. We asked them the questions and we find out the details, what they have, what they are facing. Based on these things, we found out like the variables like demography, business credit, and socio-economic. So these are the three things we particularly focused on. And for the analysis part, we used Microsoft Power BI and Python code for from Google Colab. So this is the interesting fact. been doing good in their business. But whenever we test the T-square test, we particularly find pick the variables like educational qualifications, types of business the women have been doing, cause of choosing businesses. You can see a significant thing like the K square value is 40.21 and the P value is 0.2875. So it's connected like no significant associations whenever we are doing this analysis with these things. As well as it happens with the educational qualifications and cost of business, choosing business. What we particularly find out from those research, they are doing business. They have minimum educational qualifications and they are doing it on an okay. But for example, they are doing it conceptually, they have a structure, they have a structural method to run this business, they are doing good and they know how the EBITDA count, how they can run this business. So they have been facing this problem. So that's why they are not growing enough. So that scenario is same. They are doing the business. Their income got stuck on something on a particular point. That particular point is set by the people, and they are not earning. They are not generating more money. We cannot see any progress on their earning and other things. So here we also run our OLS regression analysis. Here the R-square value is 0.037, which is really low. So that's why the percentage is only 3.7%. That means the coefficient we counted here, like the age, education, and investment, is not significantly satisfied. So they have been doing the business and their age investment is also matters, but it's not that much significant so that the system can pick it up and think like it is good, they are doing excellent job. So they are doing okay, they are not doing any excellent job, they are just running their business. What the challenges we found out, they are doing business, they are investing, they are earning, but there are no significant relationship between that. For that reason, we do run another test which is K-means clustering. We follow the algo method. So we do the clustering in three things. Then we particularly find out there are little connections when the education and income is high. That means we found out the investment is also high. For low income, we found out they have low education and they have low investment in their capital. So for low investment, they are earning low. For low education, like they don't have any educational background or they are not educated enough, so their income is low. That's what we found out from this test. But this is not significant, and the test shows like we cannot say it's a significant relationship between the low income and the investment and their education. So based on these things, we can say there is no significant relationship which can justify they have the education qualification can meet the types of business or reason of choosing business. So the education qualification doesn't have any impact of their business or doing the business. What we find out the socio-economic economic factor, we find out the age, education, and investment capital is not significantly good for their monthly income. Later on, we found out the income they were generating for past 1 year or past 2 years, the income is almost same, more or less same. They cannot they don't reinvest their money. They are just stuck in a certain positions and they are living their life. Then we found out like from the cluster method, they have some significance like the investment. If the investment is good, if the investment is more, they are earning some good amount. If the investment is low, their earning is low. So it's based on the investment. And we also find an interesting fact: who have completed standard 7, standard 8, or more than standard 5, they are into hotel businesses. they are into tailor businesses who prepare the clothes and other things. So they need to do some calculations over there. They need to do some accounting over there. Whenever you are making or whenever a person is making a clothes, they need to run some tests, they need to do some calculations, they need to write down something. So that's why the educated people, though the percentage is low, but they are into the business. And we particularly found out some limitations over here. The sample size is low, only 47 participants was there. So if we can grab a big sample data like 500, 400 or 1000 data, that might give us some more extensive idea regarding these things. And all those things are self-reported data. They told me, do not collect anything from anywhere. The person told us, this is the scenario, this is what is happening with me, this is what is going on with me. Then we fill it out, we ask them. So that's why that might be not that much relevant, like they're understanding the whole fact and the whole issue. And we can also work on the scope of the social economic variables, and we can also work on the risk factor for this particular segment, for this particular community. So how they can grow with a business. So this is the limitations we found out from here. Thank you very much.
Okay, so thank you, Devashis, so on your presentation. So maybe I could start this session. Okay, so first, yes, I would like to comment on the practical impact of the findings of the study. So I thought that findings of this research could inform policies and programs aimed at empowering women through entrepreneurship, potentially, so of course, leading to a meaningful social change. But one of my concern is sustainability. Okay, so did you guys assess the sustainability of these entrepreneurial ventures? So because temporary success may not be translated into a long-term empowerment unless underlying system issues are actually addressed. Did you
Um,
guys?
thank you, Dr. Johnson. The thing is that no, we don't find out those things. Or if we want to find out those things, then we need to do some risk assessment analysis and we need to find out what types of capitals they are investing and what types of agency they are getting the from they are getting the funds and other things. So that's why we don't go through those things. We particularly pointing on those points like they are empowered now, but we don't go through the sustainable things and is they are growing their business. But whenever we are talking to them, we heard they are not doing good. What happened? Usually, whenever a person is doing business, the person may be earning $2,000 in 2020. The person trying to earn 2,000, 4,000 or $3,000 in 2021 or 22. In progress. They don't have that much potential or they don't understand things. What happened here in Bangladesh and Slum area, they don't have that knowledge. They're trying to earn something. They are not into like saving the money in the bank account or anything. They're running their business. They're earning. They're spending their money. That's what they are doing these things. So we found a big gap here. Like they don't have the knowledge of business and they don't know how to run a business. They're doing it, but they don't have the practical knowledge, educational knowledge, and there are small projects in Bangladesh, like a small community, the government, and some international organizations like ADB, USAID, who are putting their money to make them understand how to reinvest, what is EBITDA, what is business, how to generate money, how can they make their business big and bigger, what is joint venture, what is capital, how can they use the capital in a best way. This is what is happening right now, but the government and the other institutions are trying, but we don't focus on those things.
So maybe I could just have a suggestion on the paper if you can. Um, um, Maybe you could consider again comparative analysis, such as consider including a comparative analysis with other regions or countries where similar initiatives have been undertaken. because this can provide a broader perspective and we can highlight also best practices.
Thank you so much. That would be wonderful. That make new horizon of this area.
Dr. Montano.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Jonathan. Congratulations, Mr. Kundo and company for sharing with us the result of your research. Uh,
Thank you, Dr. Montana.
Getting off from the study that you have, your study confirmed that entrepreneurship is, especially for women that are in poverty, is really multidimensional and multifaceted. So unfortunately, the model that you have presented only yielded very low R square in the model. However, you're able to proceed to clustering technique, although you only have, I think, less than 50 respondents. May I ask if in the three clusters, did you test if they are significantly different, the three groupings that you came up? Because you mentioned this elbow cluster technique. Did you test if they are significantly different?
Okay, Dr. Kundo, let me show you something so that you will get a better idea. Six.
Yes, maybe you can just tell us if, because it might take time. Can you just tell us if you proceed?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Now,
Right.
would you run some test over there?
Yeah.
But what happened? As the sample size is low, only 47 participants,
Yeah.
and most of them are illiterate, so we couldn't find any significant relations between those things. Because of the policy, we need to figure out their education qualifications and the types of business they are doing, their monthly income. What we particularly find out from those particular points, their education qualifications is low, most of them. Some of them are like literally can sign up, but they don't read, they don't write. They sign up because there are some government initiative to help them with these things. So that's why, doctor, these things are not significant and the R value is low because they don't have any consistency on the business. They don't have any potential data like
আমি মিটিংয়ে 10 মিনিট পর এখন আমার টান
the parameter we use. We try to find out the empowerment. Previously, they are not empowered that much, and they are not into any business, any entrepreneurship. But right now, they have been trying, but they don't
আমি প্লিজ আল্লাহ কি আমাকে
have the knowledge how to do it. Because of that reason, it becomes
আর 10 মিনিট
significant and the R is low. That's the point, doctor.
Okay. And maybe the indicator that you have was only the socioeconomic profile. Maybe you can look into in your as a suggested for further studies. You can look into the social and cultural barriers that exist, or some of the lacking of environmental or infrastructure support. Maybe there you would have a higher R square for your model. But nonetheless,
আল্লাহ কি আমাকে 10 মিনিট কুত্তা বাচ্চা
the research outputs that confirm that really poverty is multivariate and multifaceted issue when it comes to identifying the causes of succeeding in empowering women, especially those that are in developing countries.
Doctor,
Thank you.
Doctor, I completely agree with you. I think you're seeing my screen. So the thing is that the score is pretty low. That's what we also find out. Like we will have a vision to run another project on this. Not only another project, like 5 to 6 projects. We are planning on that, and we are doing some mapping, like where to work, the social barrier, the cultural barrier, and the risk assessment, and how to do the business.
Yes.
This is the fourth thing we already point out those things after doing the research. This is the research gap we particularly find out.
Okay.
Like we done our research and we find some research gap on that. So this is the thing we can work on our next project. We have the plan, doctor, and you'll be happy to know like we already plotted these things up. Hopefully, in a month, we will start our next project on this particular topic or on this particular segment. Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for your wonderful commentary. Good luck. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Dr. Montano. So we have Dr. Bruce.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Ponto, in your conclusion, you mentioned that age education, investment capital do not influence monthly income. Is that correct?
Uh, uh,
Age education and investment capital do not influence monthly income. I see it in your conclusion. Yeah. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you, Dr. Luke. Is that okay?
Okay. Yes. So generally, in the literature, if you take a look at the existing literature that we have, um, if the revenue generated per, let's say per Philippine peso or per dollar of invested capital, and the higher the profit margin, the higher the return on investment, all other things being equal. Okay? So here, you came out with an insight that investment capital does not influence monthly income. So I'd like to find out from you, is this supported by existing literature in this area, or is this a new insight, or it does not support existing literature?
Dr. Luke, thank you for your valuable insight. The thing is that Asia is like significantly, not significantly influenced. So that's what happened when we run our experiment correction test, pairwise scatter plot cluster and K-means clustering. When you see this is not significant on those above tests, we do the clustering to find out what is the significance on those things. There is no reason that cannot be significant. Then we find it's slightly significant, but we can't say there is a significant impact or there is a correlation, the positive impact or positive correlation with these two variables or with these three variables, like their age, education, and investment. They are not focusing on the education. They only focus on investment capital they are putting or they are getting from somewhere, and they are doing business. So from the clustering, we found out those who are investing more, their income is more. So there is a slight chance and slight significance on those things, but it's not enough to say like it is positively correlated and these things have been happening. And mostly in Bangladesh, you will find a few research who have been doing it, and it is funded by ADB and USAID and Bangladesh government. The government and the other donor agencies also working on that, but the results are not that impactful, which can conclude something like that. Maybe some other countries, like developed countries and some other countries in Philippines, I have seen lots of study, lots of research paper on that, and lots of insight on that. But in Bangladesh, we don't have that much papers, we don't have that much literature review on that. And we also particularly feel when we do the face-to-face interview with them, like that's not enough, and there are some lackings over there. That's why we say capital do not significantly influence monthly income. But there are something which we find out when you do the clustering, like pairwise scatter plot clustering and K-means clustering. But that's not significant. We cannot say on based on those things like they are significant. Let me show you something so that you will get an idea on that. See, this is the thing. This is what happened when we run the pairwise scatter plot of clustering. So we found some relationship and we found something on that. But based on those data, we cannot say this is significant. They have some positive impact, positive relationship. We also run these things as well. Say the monthly income, investment capital, and educational qualifications. These types of things we have done. Run several tests for this. We don't stop ourselves running a single test and say these things like, yeah, this is the scenario, this is happening. We run several tests on that. And this is particularly, see, doctor, the investment capital you are seeing here. So you are seeing some clustering like the layer and layer and layer, and they are intersecting with each other. But that's not significant because here on the intersect, the monthly income intersect is not clustering or is not something like that. So that's the issue, doctor.
Okay, so Mr. Kono, what I'm really asking is that if your research shows that there's no relationship between invested capital and monthly income, then you can say this does not support existing literature and you can put aside, or you can say this supports the existing literature only. And that's all. So because we are always interested to know if the study contributes to existing literature and if there are insights.
I'll keep that in mind, doctor.
That's my main comment. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Yeah, so do you want me to screen share the program?
are you done with Dr. Cruz?
Yes, I'm done with the content. Thank you so much. So I'll,
Thank you, Dr. Luis.
yes. Um, but I cannot screen share, I think, because I'm already recording. So I have to stop recording to screen share. But I think the next presenters would be from New Zealand, right?
Yes. So yes, Valerie Pos and Darlene Chutwape.
Earlier, our group, we had the plenary photo, but I think we can have a photo among us before you go. There are 14 of us here. Is that okay?
Well,
Yep.
Yeah, Bench, will you take the picture? I'd like to introduce the chair of the Global Business Conference, Mr. Benvenido Lorenzo Encarnacion. And he's joining us now to make
That
sure that
camera
we're all
phone.
okay as customers.
Open করতে
We
বললে
are
তো
all
সমস্যা হতো
satisfied
ড্রেস
customers.
okay, everybody smile.
Yeah. So, well, actually, both of us have the consensus for the best paper for breakout room number 1. So, should I announce the best paper here, Dr. Luz, Dr. Bench?
Benji will make music, right? Okay. Yes, you can announce.
Yes, and congratulations to paper number 18225. So we have introverted introverts, a qualitative study of personality traits of public practice accountants in New Zealand. So presenters are Miss Valerie Foss and
ওই তোরা
Dr.
দুজন
Chutwape. So congratulations, Miss Valerie.
Congratulations. So
Okay.
we really have to bring the Global Business Conference to New
এই যে
Zealand.
ভ্যালোরি অ্যান্ড
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, to your university. Yeah, okay. Congratulations. Yes. I also would like to thank Jonathan for such a great host, a facilitator, reaction response outside of Metro Manila.
Yes, Dr.
Yeah,
Luz,
very,
I actually have here 2 volunteers also, which I invited.
okay.
So, Dr. Ria Pahilago, so she's here. Yeah.
Thank
And
you,
Dr.
Ria.
Marvin, Dr. Marvin Stano.
Thank you for the invitation. Okay, thank you, Marvin.
Everyone with us earlier.
Ilocos Norte. So we are so diverse. Okay, and then we hear from our friends from Bangladesh to say a few words before we adjourn.
Almost always we have at the reason why we say we have a regular mark is because all knowledge was available. Thank you. Keep safe, everyone. And we will have a post talk with the other people. But by the way, if you have any suggestion of how we can make online conferences better, we're very open to that. everyone. Right. So
Thank you and bye.
with 5 minutes.